All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samantha, and I'm going to be your teacher tonight. Welcome to the Explore the Use of Colour unit tonight. So we'll be talking about colour and colour theory in the subject, and in particular we're focusing on how colour influences our day-to-day with example for logos. So how logos can influence us in our day-to-day life. So one of the reasons I want to talk about logos in relation to the exploring of colour is sometimes we don't always understand how we influence them by logos or why. So we're just going to be going through that, a bit of, as I said, colour theory, and also a few bit of colour models, so you can get a bit of understanding from a design point of view with creating logos, the reasons behind why we choose colours, and how we go about processing some of those colours. So tonight's session is going to be about 15 minutes. Try and keep it short and sweet for you. Can't always make promises. It's a bit of a passionate subject of mine, but we'll see how we go. So basically by the end of this session, what I want to do is get you to have an understanding of how colour theory works and its impact with colour models that we're going to go through, and also how you go about finding information if you want to learn more about it in your own time and things like that. So just a quick housekeeping before we actually go through, and start. So we've got our emergency exit, so the exit you came through, or the door at the opposite side there. Also toilets are at the door down the path and to your right. And if by any chance we do have any accidents, we do have a first aid kit in the kitchenette area. We'll be watching out for the power cords that are on the ground, and please be careful of the camera. It's very expensive and you don't want to get that put on your bill. Alright? Alright, so first of all, does anyone have any idea about colour theory or what it involves or anything like that? No? No? So how colour impacts your day-to-day life? Anyone got a clue?
Well, I know myself, like, the colour of the walls of a room can have impact.
Yep.
I know my daughters wanted me to paint their bedrooms black. And I'm like, no, you'd end up depressed, so
Yeah.
that,
That's exactly, that goes into it as well. Yep, that's it, because with colour theory, colours do portray emotions and feelings to people. It's the whole psychology of it, is it actually does portray it. So yes, the colour of a wall will portray that what you're wearing. What you feel like putting on at the start of the day can reflect how you feel through the rest of the day, or projects how you were feeling in that morning. So everything that we go through our day-to-day lives does actually have impact with colour.
So with learning too.
Learning,
yeah. Two examples, one of my kids that have got dyslexia.
Yep.
Having the different colour papers.
Yes, that's true.
You see, yeah. And the other one, I don't know, with learning.
Yeah.
And if you want people to, actually, if you want people to buy something, blue is always a good colour.
Yes. Blue is a very good colour.
Yeah.
Blue we go into. I actually have an activity for you doing later that actually goes into colours and your perception of colours, and then we go through what the psychology and the actual studies have shown with that, so that we can...
Brand recognition as well.
Yep, that's it. So why is Coca-Cola's logo red?
Don't know why, but we know it's Coca-Cola when you see it.
That's it. But why is Cadbury's purple? Colour of life? Yeah.
Yeah, red is often seen as like a life colour.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
right.
red and yellow, it's McDonald's almost like that's...
Sunrise.
Yep, that's it. Why is Cadbury's logo purple? Why is it always purple wrappers?
Who's that?
Cadbury.
Oh,
I thought,
It's easily
Got it.
distinguishable.
I have no idea why.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay.
How about John Deere? What do you think when you think
Oh,
John Deere?
tractors, yeah.
Green. But why green? Why yellow?
because they've been credited in
Yes, but when they originally started, they had reasons behind that. And also, we'll think about something like toothpaste. You don't really think about Oral-B. What colours are Oral-B?
red, white, blue.
Yeah. Their logo is blue and white. But yes, they do have red, white and blue as some of their things. So yeah, it's why has it been chosen.
Same as some radio clocks you get. Some are red and some are green.
Yep,
This is something which I,
it's true.
Radio clocks, you know,
oh yeah,
radio
I
clocks.
never thought of that.
Yeah, because anybody vision impaired can't see the red.
Colour blindness and stuff as well.
Oh, good, yeah.
That's it. So yeah, my mistake wasn't following on with my PowerPoint. I was too busy talking. As I said, I do get into it a bit. But yeah, so basically the colour theory is the study of how colours make people feel. So it's a very interesting one. I like it because brands are everywhere. Brands on our shirts, on our, walking down the street, brands, you have a shop, you have everything that's, we're bombarded by brands, but nobody thinks about them. But the particular brands themselves, especially the big bosses, with Coke and all that sort of stuff, they have so much money put behind the fact that they have that particular colour. There's even particular colours that are copyrighted. You cannot touch those colours and things like that because that brand is that passionate about it that that's their colour. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand out this activity and give you a couple of minutes just to write down a word or two about each colour and what you think it represents as an emotion or a feeling. Alright? And then what we're going to do is watch a quick video which will give it a touch on the subject. And then,
emotion we get from each of these colours, is that what you're...
Yep. So yeah, just take a few minutes, just have a think. We've already sort of touched on some colours and that sort of thing, so hopefully that's got the juices flowing as to what you would interpret different colours. There you go, can you think of something for all of them? I find myself white is probably the hardest in thinking of logos and stuff because it's usually not used as a main colour. So it only needs to be one. Doesn't need to be a whole heap because what we'll do is as we go through the video and we have a few pictures to look at, you might want to write down more or even find that your perception of those colours may be different to what we found in design. So it's always just a good idea just to have a bit of a think about what it is because everyone's different, so what you think one colour represents could be different too, that based on your background and things like that. Do we have one of everything?
Almost.
Yeah, almost. Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Hope you like my little colouring I had to do. Unfortunately, I don't have a colour printer, and I was a bit lax in getting the prints off to Vanessa for getting them printed off for tonight. So I, improvised and I raided my kids' colouring in pencil stash and I found colours.
Did well.
Yellow's my favourite colour.
Yellow's your favourite colour? Yeah. What colour yellow?
Just yellow. The brightest yellow.
Yeah.
Right? Like lemon yellow.
Yep. Nice.
Oh, pretty, you've got the same as me. Are you alright?
Yep.
Happy.
Alright, how are you going? Everyone got one of everything? Yeah, we good? All right. So what we'll do is we'll watch the video. It'll give you a bit more detail about the colour theory and the psychology of colours, and it'll give you a few bits of information, and then I have a bit of a colour points to go through a few more. So we'll just go through and do that.
Welcome to the brand. In this video, we will be discussing color theory and how color should impact your branding decisions. In the visual arts, color theory is a body of practical guidance to color mixing and the visual effects of a specific color combination. The original color wheel dates back to 1666, when Sir Isaac Newton developed the first circular diagram of colors. The color diagram was based on the colors red, yellow, and blue. From there, scientists and artists have expanded the wheel into 3 sections: primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. You might be asking yourself, how can color really affect my brain? Well, the Institute for Color Research, or CCI Color, did a study and found that people make subconscious judgments about people, environments, and products within 90 seconds of the initial viewing, and between 62 to 90% of those assessments were based on color alone. Think about your logo. What colors are you using to represent your brand? When choosing the colors that will represent your brand, you have to consider what each color can mean to your audience, and especially their subconscious. The color blue evokes feelings of calmness, tranquility, trust, and even has been shown to increase productivity. People often think of the ocean and the sky when they see it. Blue is one of the most popular colors amongst people, but it is one of the least appetizing to see in your food. Red is an emotionally intense color and is the universal color for style due to the fact that it naturally captures our attention quickly. Because of the boldness of the color red, it is often associated with strong emotions such as rage, anger, war, danger, love, and passion. Yellow is a color that can stimulate both positives and negatives. While yellow stimulates brightness with energy and joy, it can also mean caution and uneasiness, especially when it's in a dull shade. Yellow is the most strenuous on the eye, so using too much yellow in your logo might not work out in your favor. The color green, just like blue, brings a sense of calmness because of its association with nature. It triggers feelings of growth, healing, and even safety. In darker shades, it makes us think of money and even jealousy. The color black is associated with death and death. While it is a strong and bold color, it can be seen as simple and sophisticated, despite its negative connotation. White is the complete opposite of black and makes us feel safe, simple, and pure. As you can see, color can have a big impact on your brand. So choose colors that will be complementary to building your brand. Key points: your brand is important, and how your audience perceives it is crucial. The colors you choose to represent you and your brand can be their first impression and make a big impact.
Alright. So that's just a little bit of information. Who agrees with the colours that they... Yeah? Yeah?
Opposites.
You got opposites?
Opposites,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Just a minute, I'll just start my slideshow again. Alright, so we watched the video. Okay, so this is what emotions...
In this video, we will be
Hang on a
discussing the rules of
second. You're not
designing
supposed to
logo,
be doing that.
why
Sorry about that, guys. Love it when technology plays, don't you? It's always fun. Alright, so basically, we had one person that said wasn't quite what they had your impression of colours, but that's okay. Everyone's different. As I said, this is just, a general thing with the psychology. Everyone's different. So black, authority, power, mystery. So can we think of any logos that are black off the top of our heads? Yeah. Hungry Fox.
Well, I wrote slimming down, so that's perfect.
Slimming.
I got scared, so you wouldn't want to...
Batman.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, how about red? Red, I've got two straight off the ball, but I want to see if you can. We've got
hungry.
code. Pardon?
What about hungry?
Hungry, yes.
Powerful, empowered.
Yeah.
Red's an empowering colour.
I put like summer, so it's hot.
Yep. Yep. Well, for hunger, KFC. What colour's theirs?
Oh, red and white, yeah.
Yeah.
Red rooster?
Red rooster, yeah.
Holden.
Holden, yeah. That's it. Fiery, you know,
Fire,
charged
yeah.
cars, that sort of thing. You know,
Red Cross.
Red Cross, yeah. But they would probably,
Yeah.
Health. So
health
they're
and passion,
connected to health.
Yeah.
life, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Okay, how about yellow? Happiness, warmth,
Yeah.
innovation, also caution, depending on the colour of the yellow. So remember the video said brighter yellows, happiness, yeah. But the dull, like darker yellows are more of a cautious, you know, colour for us.
What's
No.
McDonald's.
Yellow pages.
Daffodil, like daffodil.
Daffodil Day, yeah.
Fancy councils,
Yeah,
yellow.
Yellow
See?
pages.
Yep.
Yellow, yeah.
Yep. Okay, how about blue? Professionalism, trust, authority, power, loyalty.
I put
Think
good.
water, like it. That was
Water.
because I wrote water down here, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I wrote it, I thought, oh yeah,
That's
think waters is blue and green.
Yep, think
Blue
water,
is
yeah,
the
it's a
thing
local
with
one.
hospitals and medical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount Franklin water's blue.
Mount Franklin water. Yep. Yep. You've also got Ford. Going back to
Ford,
cars.
yeah.
Ford is blue.
Powerful, authority.
Trustworthy, things like that.
Ford and
Okay,
Rossetti.
green. So remember we were talking about why John Deere is green? Earth.
Yeah.
Grass.
Nature.
You know, coming back to nature.
The green waste makes me think of jealousy, like money, envy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I associate green with life.
Yeah, I sort of
Yep.
fresh and clean
Yep.
outdoors and energising because of, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's it. How about orange? What logo can you think is orange? I have one and I don't think Nessa will like, but yes.
I put hungry because I associate
Yeah.
orange with Fairly orange balls.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I
Orange
put
has
sweet.
no idea.
I put sweet because
Sweet. Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'll put
Harley
excitement.
Davidson.
I had excitement.
Oh, yeah.
Energetic,
Yeah.
vibrant.
But also artistic.
Yep.
You know, they are revolutionaries. Harley, and because it's actually two men that created Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah, so
were
Harley Davidson.
artistic and innovative. Yeah.
That's it.
Playful, it's all stuff.
See, that's it. Okay, how about purple? We were talking about Cadbury, celebration. It's also colour of royalty, luxury, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's it. Well, luxury.
Security though, like when I think of Beyond Bay, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Security.
Actually, one for blue. Yeah, I think it's trying to think of a bank that's blue. It's ANZ's blue.
Yeah.
So that,
And then you've got white, which, as we said, white, pure, peaceful,
Yeah.
clean.
Innocence.
book plain.
So,
Yeah,
Plain.
look plain.
Plain.
And then pink, Barbie.
Girls.
Oh,
That's
Playful.
iconic.
I'm playful.
Playful, yeah, that's it.
Spring.
Yeah, that's it. Any other pink logos we can think of? Not really too many, but
Cancer, like
breast cancer, yeah, feminine.
Bra.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like their whole advertising, breast cancer.
yeah.
Okay, how about brown? Reliable, solid, a masculine, earthy.
Everything dirty, yeah.
Gloria jeans.
I'm going
Coffee.
Oh, yeah, a lot of coffees.
Yeah. So there's not too many brown. And in the next slide that's got actual logos on it, they don't actually have brown, they've got grey instead.
Oh.
But yeah, it's like one of those things that you will find that they want to portray more like masculine or something that's got more depth as well, you know, to it. All right, so we'll have a look at the slide and see. This is some American ones, so you probably don't have a lot of emotional connection to a lot of these.
Theatre.
But yeah, Fanta,
Of course.
Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
Now, do you
Oh,
notice
yes.
something that I haven't touched on with colour?
Combination of colours or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Combination of colours.
Yeah, Fox and Zilla's.
Why?
I was thinking like Apple,
Yeah.
you know, because their logo's got lots of.
Well, Apple's logo is actually silver.
Is it? Oh,
Really?
really?
It wasn't always.
No, it wasn't always. Yeah, that's true. But why do you think? Just touching on back to Google and everything. Why do you think their logos would be colourful? What would they be trying to portray or
Diversity.
Everything.
diversity? Yeah. that they are standing. I know it's there, but it's still part of it. But they stand for more than one thing. They, you know, are trying to give you more than one particular emotion.
Yeah.
Right, so what do you think of that? How do you think?
Interesting.
Is this something you've ever thought about before? And is it making you think about, why do I like that particular logo? Or why do they have that?
I'm aware of it.
Friendly to you.
Yeah.
Up with the orange at the top next to Nickelodeon.
Yes. That's awesome.
I just it's friendly, cheerful and confident. Yep, that's definitely the Big
Yep.
Girls.
See?
Oh, dear, you've got to be
But you notice that within Australia anyway,
Anyway.
the pink isn't really, you don't really have a lot of pink though, but there's, as I said, this is very Americanised that I found. But they do have, you know, fair bit, but you probably notice that a lot of the most recognisable either red or blue. You've probably seen that.
From anywhere in orange, but I actually know you.
Yeah. But yeah, see? Harley?
Yes.
crushed.
That's it. Alright, so, pardon?
Stays.
What's that? What colour is that?
Orange.
Orange.
Stars.
Stars. Like the Stars Network? Alright, so moving on from that, so as we were talking about colour models, so colour models, we're going to be touching on, you know, two of the most common that we have. Basically, once you know what colour you want your logo to be, how do you make sure that it always comes across as the right colour? Because have you ever had something on screen look perfect and then printed out was not the same? Absolutely not the same. You can either have it on your personal computer, but even photos, if it looks perfect on the computer screen and you send it off, say, to Big W to get printed and you go pick it up, it doesn't look the same. Oh, I'm sorry, did I forget to say no phones rule? So that's actually to do with colour models. So once they've got it, then they need to decide how they're going to use their logo. So has anyone ever heard of the term CMYK or RGB?
Yes.
Yeah?
I've had RGB.
Yeah.
RGB.
Do you have any idea what it means?
Red, green, blue.
Red, green, blue.
Red, green, blue. Yes. How about CMYK?
Cyan,
Yeah?
magenta, yellow.
Yellow, and what does K?
And,
It's key. It is black, but in design terms it's called key because it's the key to making the colours of the CMYK, because without that, if you add the C, the M and the Y, you get like a murky dark brown, but you need that last step to actually make it true black. Alright, so as we've said, it's cyan, magenta, yellow and key. So with this is almost all things that you get printed are in CMYK. Okay? And
So
with,
is it during the printers?
that's true. Yeah. So brochures, magazines, you know, that books, anything like that will be CMYK. If professionally printed at home, you know, if you have just an RGB printer, which you can get, you know, you don't get the range yet. That's it. So it may look similar, but it doesn't quite have the depth. So the way they actually use CMYK, it's called subtractive colour. So what they do is when they print, they layer one colour on top of another, and the more the one colour or certain colours that they make, the darker it gets. So basically, that's what they call subtractive colour. So they're just all laid down on top of each other. So what you'll probably find if you ever go to a printer's, it's actually pretty cool to see if you have an old style, like if they go to printers, is they can run, some of the old ones used to run magenta first, then cyan, then yellow, and then pink. And they just do big loops and do it like that, and then all the colours layering on top of each other make your print. So it's not like a printer at home where it just comes out and squirts out all the colours in the line. They actually can do it as big loops with it. It's actually quite fun to see in real life if you ever get
screen printing.
Screen printing, yeah, that's it, like screen printing, that's right. Now, with RGB, so we've heard of that. that is on screen only. So reason for doing that is it's called additive colour. So basically by combining the colours together, instead of getting black, you get white because it's dealing with the light on the computer screen. It seems a bit reverse psychology, doesn't it? Seems attractive.
Yeah.
So, but that's what they call it, additive colour. So with that, yeah, you've got it on computer screens, your phones, your your TVs. Most a lot of cameras and things like that can actually use RGB. Has anyone, when you were little, went really close to the TV screen and had a look, and you could see all those little dots?
Yeah.
You will find there's only 3 kinds of dots:
Red, yellow,
red, green, and blue. And all those, depending on how much they're turned on or how much light is projecting through them, depends on what colour is shown. So that's sort of the difference. So why do you need to know this, basically? Basically, with the way that it works, you need to make sure whenever you're setting up a logo, a picture or something, that you actually make sure you design it for the right platform that you're getting. So if you're designing it to go just online, not a problem. RGB is your friend. But if you go make it in RGB and you print CMYK, you do actually lose information and it turns out different. So I've got the example up here. It may not be too obvious from the photo why RGB and the CMYK is different. Can you see a lot of differences?
It's, a lot sharper.
The RGB or the CMYK? RGB. It is brighter, yes, because it's got that light coming through it. But you'll actually notice you get more detail out of the CMYK. So you can actually probably see it, it's probably changed a little bit. In the clouds you actually get more detail, and in the shadows you get a bit more detail because it's using a 4-layer process to print, so it's using that particular process to actually print, is actually giving you more depth of colour because of that. Where RGB, yes, it's brighter, but you do lose detail because it's only using a 3-colour process. And that's something when wanting to design a logo, for example, like we're talking about today, you need to take into account. If you can convert it easily enough in your Photoshop or whatever program you're using to become CMYK, but you need to be aware of the colour model that you're using and how you're actually going to be printing or processing your particular logo. Okay, so where are we here? What I'll do is I will go through another video for you that's going to explain probably a little bit different to what I've just explained about the CMYK and RGB processes. It does touch a little bit on what's called Pantone, which is specific colours. We're not going to get into that today. We can do further training with that if you wish to proceed with other courses, but yeah, we'll just let you know that it just touches on that. So let me get in here for you. We're going to play.
There are 2 main colour models used in design, RGB and CMYK, and it's important to know which to use and for what purpose. RGB stands for red, green and blue, and is used for anything that is to be displayed on a monitor or screen, such as websites or videos. The very same screen you are watching this video on is most likely made up of millions of pixels. Each pixel is broken down into 3 subpixels that are either red, green or blue. These subpixels are added in various combinations to make an array of different colours for the pixel. For instance, if the red and green subpixels are turned on all the way, the resulting pixel would be yellow. Or if the red pixel is dim and the blue pixel is on the way, the resulting colour would be purple. All 3 subpixels added together create white, which is why RGB is known as the additive colour model. CMYK, on the other hand, is a subtractive colour model and creates white by subtracting colours. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow and ink, which is black, and should be used for anything that is printed with ink. CMYK works by starting with a lighter page, usually white, and then layering each colour together until the final image is produced. This image is made up of tiny dots of either cyan, magenta, yellow, or black. The bigger the dot, the more that colour is represented, and the more colours overlap.
Some nice little concise ones that didn't actually, put me too far over. All right, so accessing resources. How do we find out information about colour and colour theory and that sort of stuff? Well, Google's our friend. So there are textbooks and information books that are available. You can get them as ebooks on, various sites. You can go to your library, they've got books, things like that. But websites, people's blogs, they're usually the best and most current bits of information you can find. And just like we found out tonight, one could have slightly different information to the other because one's perception of colour is different to the next. So, have a look, research. You don't always have to agree, but, it's always good information to know both sides as to why one person thinks blue is a good colour and why one thinks it's not. Or why somebody might see black as a scary thing or, intimidating colour, but others might see it as an empowering, strong, dynamic colour. So it's always good to go through and do, your own research. But these are a couple of sites that I really like that have got really good information about not just colour theory, but a lot of design concepts for graphics. Now, that's all we have tonight. All right, so I probably went over the 15 minutes, but as I said, I do like to talk about it. It is one of my subjects that I am quite passionate about. It's the reason why I became a graphic designer. Went to uni all those years. So just to go back through what we've covered, we've gone through what colour theory is and how colours can make us feel and how it's used by companies to express emotions or feelings about them. So we've just touched on colour models and why we need to be aware of colour models when we're producing things so that we can make sure that we can get things colour accurate for the company or for whomever your client needs to be. So what they see on screen when they get a proof is what they get in their mailbox. And then we've had a quick talk about where to find information and that sort of thing, but as I said, nowadays with all the technology we have, Google's everyone's friend and, take it with it. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming and thanks for doing your activity, and it was very interesting to see what everyone was coming up with. And I hope I made it pretty enjoyable for you. And that concludes tonight's session. Now if you are interested in any more graphics courses or any more information, on your way out, if you just talk to Vanessa, she can take your name and number and then let you know and give you a quick call or email if anything does come up in the future. And it's always nice to know if people are interested so we can look into doing more things for you. All right, thank you.